Consider the words you speak each morning as sacred commands to the vast intelligence within you. When you declare, "I win the lottery, not 1 but 8 times," you are not indulging in idle wishful thinking. You are issuing a precise instruction to your own inner being. In the arena of consciousness, words are not mere symbols. They are energetic vibrations that set the entire creative process into motion. By recognizing this truth, you elevate your daily affirmations from casual chatter to purposeful decrees that your subconscious cannot ignore. Every time you enunciate your winning phrase, you are embedding a powerful directive deep into the soil of your subconscious mind. Picture your subconscious as fertile ground awaiting the seed of your intention. Each repetition of your chosen words presses that seed into the earth of your awareness, where it will germinate and grow. Without this deliberate planting, your deeply held desires remain suspended as abstract thoughts, never finding root in your experience. Consistent speech, laden with unshakable belief, transforms these desires into living realities within your psyche. Repetition alone, however, is ineffectual without conviction. The human mind is designed to heed only those commands delivered with absolute certainty. If you recite your affirmation in a half-hearted or skeptical tone, your subconscious registers the hesitation and withholds full cooperation. To avoid this pitfall, speak your words as though you were narrating an inevitable outcome. Let your voice carry the weight of your unwavering faith. Feel the solidity of your conviction in every syllable, and notice how your inner landscape begins to respond by aligning circumstances to reflect that certainty. To further anchor your proclamation, accompany each repetition with a sense of vivid anticipation. As you speak, let your imagination illustrate the scene, the triumphant moment when the numbers align, the collective gasp of onlookers, the tangible ticket in your hand. Engage all your senses. Savor the metallic ink of the printed numbers. Hear the swell of celebratory music. Experience the exhilarating rush through your veins. This sensory immersion cements your words into a living experience, bridging the gap between thought and reality. Subconscious intelligence works best when fed with clear, sensory-rich instructions. In practical terms, set aside dedicated moments throughout your day to reinforce your decree. Perhaps at dawn, stand before a mirror, gaze into your own eyes, and proclaim your eightfold victory with unwavering emphasis. Later, during a quiet midday pause, repeat the phrase in silent meditation, allowing its resonance to permeate your being. As dusk approaches, revisit the affirmation once more, this time visualizing the scene bathed in the warm glow of twilight. These structured intervals create a rhythmic pattern that deepens the impression upon your subconscious, ensuring the seed of intention is nurtured from multiple angles. You may encounter moments when doubt attempts to creep into your resolve. A fleeting thought like, "What if this is impossible?" might surface uninvited. When this occurs, gently but firmly redirect your focus back to the spoken word. Replace that whisper of skepticism with the firm declaration you have chosen. Consider doubt as a mischievous stray. Acknowledge its presence, then return your attention to the truth you have declared. Over time, this practice trains your subconscious to disregard any conflicting messages, prioritizing your primary command above all else. To strengthen the neural pathways associated with your affirmation, integrate writing into your daily ritual. After verbal repetition, capture the words on paper in bold, confident handwriting. Notice the sensation of pen meeting paper, the deliberate flow of ink as you transcribe your intended victory. This act of writing doubles the impression, first through sound, then through sight and motor action, creating a multi-sensory reinforcement that leaves little room for uncertainty. Your conscious mind and subconscious zone become synchronized around an unmistakable directive. As you persist in this process, observe how subtle shifts begin to occur in your outer world. Perhaps you find yourself noticing lottery news more frequently, or your intuition guides you toward unusual number combinations. These are not random coincidences, but the subconscious intelligence responding to your command, sending you clues and opportunities that align with your declared intention. Remain alert to these signs and treat each one as confirmation that the seed you planted is taking root. Ultimately, the spoken phrase you embrace transcends mere words. It becomes a living principle guiding your actions and perceptions. By repeating, "I win the lottery not 1 but 8 times, with unwavering conviction, you harness the creative power inherent in language itself. In this way, you are no longer a passive observer of life's unfolding. You become the conscious architect of your own reality, crafting experiences that mirror the triumphant declaration echoing within. Allow this principle to permeate every moment, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the truth you have boldly spoken. Picture yourself awakening at dawn, the first light of morning filtering through your window, as if heralding a new era of possibilities. Before the mind has had time to wander into doubt or uncertainty, you declare to yourself, "I already hold the triumph of 8 lottery wins." Feel the words as though they are etched upon your heart. In this sacred moment, you set the tone for the entire day. The emotions you cultivate before any external stimulus shapes your internal reality. By deliberately choosing to inhabit the victorious state, you lay the foundation for every subsequent thought, action, and event to conform to that triumph. Recognize that feeling is not an after effect of success, but the very seed from which success unfolds. To master this principle, begin each morning by consciously summoning the elation of victory. Allow your body to resonate with the energy of achievement, and let this vibration guide your mindset toward the fulfillment you have proclaimed. Close your eyes and engage all your senses in a living tableau of success. Taste the crisp ink as you hold your winning ticket between trembling fingers. Feel the weight of the glossy cardstock, the subtle ridges of the printed numbers gliding beneath your thumb. Hear the crescendo of applause and the announcer's triumphant voice declaring your name with unmistakable clarity. Smell the faint aroma of fresh paper mingled with the sweet scent of celebration in the air. See the confetti drifting like golden snowflakes, each piece a testament to your realized dream. The more intensely you involve sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, the more real the experience becomes to your subconscious. This multisensory rehearsal anchors the feeling of triumph so deeply that your mind begins to treat it as present fact rather than distant hope. Practice this immersive scene until it shines with the same authenticity as any memory you cherish. To deepen the impression, integrate writing as a complementary practice. Each evening, before sleep, open a journal devoted entirely to your imagined victories. In flowing script, recount the story of your 8 consecutive wins as though you are reliving each moment. Capture the initial surge of disbelief that gives way to exhilaration, the steadying breath that follows confirmation, the buoyant pulse of gratitude that settles in your chest. Use descriptive language that evokes color, texture, and emotion. By transcribing the experience, you layer sound with sight and motion, forging a richer neural network in your brain. Over time, this practice rewires your mental circuitry so that the line between imagination and reality blurs. Your subconscious begins to accept the narrative not as fiction, but as a factual chapter in the unfolding story of your life. Next, create an anchor to instantly reconnect with the triumphant feeling whenever you need it. Choose a simple physical gesture, perhaps touching 2 fingertips together, or lightly pressing your palm against your heart. At the peak of your sensory rehearsal or while journaling, perform the gesture and fully saturate it with the emotion of victory. Repeat this pairing several times until the action alone can summon the feeling. Then, throughout your day, whenever doubt or distraction threatens to derail you, use your anchor to reignite the flame of confidence. The subconscious mind learns to associate the gesture with the state of triumph, providing an instant emotional recalibration. This method empowers you to maintain unwavering alignment with your declared outcome, regardless of external circumstances. Surround yourself with subtle reminders that reinforce the feeling you wish to embody. Assemble a small mood board or digital collage featuring images and words that evoke abundance, joy, and success. Include photographs of ecstatic celebrations, gleaming gold accents, and smiling faces framed by confetti. Add affirmations, framed phrases like "victory is mine" or "eightfold triumph realized," rendered in bold, uplifting fonts. Place this visual montage where you will see it often, beside your workstation, on your phone's lock screen, or alongside your bedside lamp. Each glance serves as a cue to revisit the emotional state you have cultivated. Complement these visuals with a brief meditation session. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Gaze softly at your mood board and let the images wash over you, reigniting the triumphant feeling at the heart of your intention. Consistency is the lifeblood of this practice. Establish fixed times, morning, midday, and evening, to return to your sensory rehearsal, journaling, and anchoring ritual. Treat each interval as a non-negotiable appointment with your future self. As days pass, the repeated immersion reinforces the neural pathways that encode your affirmed state. Even when life's demands press in, these scheduled returns to your inner victory serve as touchstones, keeping you aligned with your ultimate goal. Over weeks and months, the momentum builds. Your subconscious mind, no longer confused by conflicting emotions, begins to orchestrate events that mirror the feeling you have mastered. Opportunities, insights, and synchronicities emerge in alignment with the triumph you have declared. Finally, learn to trust the unfolding of your intention without clinging to specifics. The purpose of cultivating an unwavering feeling of triumph is not to control every detail of the how, but to influence the universal processes that govern manifestation. Once you have spoken the words, immersed yourself in their vivid reality, and anchored the emotional resonance, allow the unseen intelligence of your own awareness to arrange the means. Release any anxious fixation on timing or mechanism, and remain open to the myriad ways your inner certainty can bring about the eightfold victory you have embraced. By steadfastly inhabiting the feeling of triumph as already yours, you become the living demonstration of your own creative power. And watch as life unfolds to confirm the truth of your deepest conviction. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into the quiet theater of your mind. As the world around you fades, call forth the precise scene you wish to experience, the moment you check your lottery numbers, and discover the same winning sequence not once, but 8 times. See yourself holding the ticket aloft, its glossy surface catching the light, each numeral etched in ink that glows with promise. In this inner cinema, you are both director and star, crafting a vivid storyboard that your subconscious will follow with unwavering fidelity. Begin by choosing a specific setting for your visualization. Perhaps it is a sleek living room with warm ambient lighting, or a bustling lottery office where the air hums with anticipation. Define the backdrop in clear detail: the color of the walls, the texture of the chair beneath you, the pattern on the carpet. Then position yourself in that space. Notice the weight of your body as you settle onto the seat, the gentle pull of gravity grounding you in this imagined reality. By constructing a fully realized environment, you provide your subconscious mind with rich coordinates to navigate as it organizes real events in harmony with your vision. Now focus on the central action, bringing the ticket to your eyes. Before you, 8 identical slips bear the numbers you once whispered to yourself in hopeful affirmation. Inhale the moment as you raise one ticket to eye level, feeling the slight tremor of excitement in your fingers. See the numbers align perfectly, each digit resonating with the frequency of abundance. Then, almost unconsciously, repeat this 8 times. Ticket 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8. With each repetition, notice the mounting exhilaration, as if the universe itself applauds your certainty. This sequential ritual trains your mind to expect not a single success, but an unbroken series of triumphs. To deepen the illusion of reality, engage your senses fully. Hear the soft rustle of paper, the low murmur of bystanders around you, the triumphant crescendo of your own gasp as recognition dawns. Taste the faint sweetness of adrenaline on your tongue, a reminder that this moment is no mere fantasy but a rehearsal for actual experience. Feel the smooth surface of the ticket beneath your touch, the reassuring rigidity of cardstock that has become your key to unlimited possibility. The more you involve sight, sound, touch, taste, and even smell, perhaps the hint of freshly printed ink or the clean scent of stage lights, the more your subconscious mind accepts the scene as genuine and begins orchestrating external events to match. Visualization thrives on repetition. Schedule brief sessions 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, each lasting no less than 5 minutes. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and let the mental film roll. With each viewing, wipe away any flicker of doubt. Represent the scene until its details grow sharper. The exact shade of the chair's upholstery, the precise angle at which you hold the ticket, the way the light glints off the raised numbers. These repeated viewings carve a deep neural pathway, transforming what was once imagined into an indelible blueprint for the unfolding reality you intend to witness. Vary your perspective to reinforce the visualization's power. First, watch the scene from your own eyes, living the moment in first person so that every nuance washes over you like a tidal wave of certainty. Then, shift to a third-person viewpoint, observing yourself from across the room, basking in the radiant glow of your achievement. By embodying both the experiencer and the observer, you collapse any boundary between imagination and reality. Your subconscious learns to generalize the experience, understanding it not as a singular mental exercise, but as an omnipresent truth manifesting across all contexts. Complement your mental rehearsals with tangible reminders. Create a small sketch or simple diagram of the scene, just a few strokes, to outline the room, yourself, and the ticket. Place it where you will see it during the day, on your desk, pinned to a bulletin board, or tucked into your wallet. Each glance at this visual cue triggers an automatic return to the richer, sensory-filled movie in your mind. Over time, this coupling of external prompt and internal replay strengthens the association so that even a fleeting look can reignite the full tapestry of sight, sound, and feeling that anchors your intention. As you practice, remain alert for subtle shifts in your awareness and in external circumstances. You may notice a sudden recollection of a dream involving numbers, or overhear someone mention an unexpected statistic that stirs recognition within you. These are whispers from the unseen, guiding you toward the realization of your eightfold victory. Treat each synchronicity as confirmation that the internal movie you direct is already at work behind the scenes. Maintain gratitude for these signposts, for they affirm that your visualization has ignited the creative machinery of your own consciousness. By faithfully employing visualization in this structured, multisensory way, you transform a simple imagining into a potent force of manifestation. Your mind, accustomed to responding only to what it perceives as real, learns to accept the projected scene of 8 successive wins as the most authoritative truth. And as you persist with clarity and conviction, you awaken the hidden faculty within you that shapes events from the inside out, turning the mental vision you have so carefully detailed into the lived, thrilling reality awaiting your discovery. Imagine standing at the brink of a soul-stirring miracle and feeling a subtle shadow seep into your conviction. That shadow is the whisper of doubt, a cunning saboteur that disguises itself as practical caution. In the realm of conscious creation, doubt is the only force capable of dissolving the structure of your imagined reality. It arrives softly, often masquerading as reason. It's not possible, it murmurs, until the foundation of your triumphant vision begins to tremble. To guard against its erosion, you must first recognize doubt, not as a benign obstacle, but as a dire call to your vigilance. Understanding the nature of this whisper is the first step towards silencing it permanently. When hesitation insinuates itself into your consciousness, it fractures the mirror of intentional thought. A single stray comment or a fleeting idea can open a crack. What if this never happens? Or, I don't deserve success. Such intrusions seem innocuous, slipping past the boundary of focused awareness, yet each one chips away at your confidence. Train yourself to notice any negative or skeptical idea as soon as it surfaces. See it clearly, acknowledge its presence, and then intentionally detach it from the unwavering directive you declared to your inner world. Briefly focus on your breath. Observe its gentle rise and fall. Then recommit to your words with renewed clarity. Once you have identified that subtle whisper, immediately shift your energy toward unwavering confidence by employing the power of vocal or mental affirmation. With a measured breath, speak the exact phrase of your intention. I win the lottery not 1 but 8 times. And let its vibration pulse through every cell. Visualize the sound as a pure tone, sweeping through the corridors of your mind, flushing out any remnants of hesitation. This redirection is akin to a lighthouse beam piercing a stormy night, guiding your psyche back to the safety of your chosen reality. Practice this technique at any moment doubt arises, whether during a daily task, a conversation, or moments of solitude. Notice how each repetition strengthens your internal compass, redirecting every facet of your being toward the fulfillment you have proclaimed. Anchor this practice by creating a physical or symbolic trigger that instantly restores your equilibrium. Select a trigger that resonates with you, perhaps a small talisman, a smooth stone, or the gentle touch of your thumb against your forefinger. During each session of affirmation and vivid rehearsal, hold this object or perform the gesture in harmony with slow, deliberate breaths, letting the sensation fuse with the peak of your conviction. Imagine planting a flag in the soil of your subconscious each time you activate this anchor. Later, a single encounter, whether pressing your fingertips together under a table or feeling the talisman in your pocket, will instantaneously reconnect you to the victorious state. Over time, this practiced linkage becomes an unconscious habit, fortifying your certainty and shutting the door on doubt. Integrate gratitude into your defense against skepticism, for appreciation is the antidote to fear. Whenever doubt emerges, pause and list 3 authentic reasons to feel grateful for the outcome you have declared. Begin each morning by jotting down these reasons in a gratitude notebook, writing as though you already possess 8 consecutive triumphs. Feel genuine warmth in your chest with each entry, allowing it to blossom into a full-bodied emotion that reverberates through your being. At night, revisit this list before sleep, when your subconscious mind is most receptive to the impressions you supply. Through these acts of heartfelt gratitude, you flood your consciousness with abundance, leaving no space for the cold shadow of skepticism to take root or persist. These moments of acknowledgement become pillars of unshakable belief, reinforcing every other practice in your creative toolkit. Use the written word as another layer of protection for your conviction. Keep a dedicated journal in which you document every moment of doubt and immediately reframe it in the past tense as though the outcome has already been achieved. After noting the hesitation, perhaps a whisper questioning the legitimacy of your 7 prior wins, reposition yourself as the triumphant victor. Describe the celebration with vivid clarity, golden confetti drifting, voices of congratulations, the buoyant surge of gratitude. Transforming each hesitation into a detailed narrative of victory trains your mind to expect success as its default pattern. Over weeks, reviewing these entries reveals how early doubts dissolve beneath the weight of your written affirmations, weaving a sturdy tapestry of certainty across your consciousness. Include dates beside each entry, to track your progress and measure how confidence deepens day by day. Embrace the understanding that doubt serves not as a tyrant, but as a gentle sentinel, calling you to reaffirm your creative authority. Like a cautious guard signaling the approach of new thresholds, doubt illuminates areas demanding your attention. When greeted with conscious awareness and met with swift practices, observation, redirection, anchoring, gratitude, and journaling, it dissolves, leaving behind a clearer pathway to your goal. As you consistently apply these methods, the act of overcoming hesitation becomes nearly instantaneous, transforming doubt from an obstacle into a gentle cue. Sooner than you might expect, a fleeting mistrust will trigger an automatic return to your victorious state, as though an inner chord resonates with a certainty you have cultivated. In this way, the echo of doubt fades away, and your outer world effortlessly aligns with the unwavering belief you now embody. Imagine waking each morning already seated on the throne of victory. Before the sun has fully risen, you greet the day with the unshakable knowing that what you desire has already transpired. This is not fanciful daydreaming, but a conscious decision to live perpetually in the end. By inhabiting the state of fulfillment, you align every fiber of your being with the vibration of completion. This alignment then radiates outward, shaping circumstances until your inner certainty is mirrored in external events. Living in the end begins with a mental posture that rejects lack and embraces completeness. Rather than striving toward a distant goal, you embody the end result of your intention as though it is your present reality. When you speak, your words flow from a reservoir of realized achievement. When you move, your demeanor reflects someone who has already triumphed. Even your plans are made from this vantage point. By adopting this mindset, you step directly into the narrative of having arrived. In practical use, craft statements in the first person, past or present perfect tense. Instead of, I will be a person who has won 8 consecutive lottery wins, affirm, I have won the lottery 8 times. The structure of your speech imprints the completed outcome on your subconscious. Speak these affirmations aloud with conviction, several times daily. Notice how the shape of the sentence commands your inner awareness to accept the end result as factual. Align your daily rituals with the lived experience of someone who has realized the goal. If you imagine yourself 8 times rich, manage your finances as though abundance is your normal state. Perhaps you review the bank balance that reflects the winnings or allocate imaginary funds to charitable accounts. These acts are not premature extravagance, but symbolic gestures that solidify the sense of completion in your psyche. Adjust your emotional responses to mirror the future self. When an opportunity arises, respond as the person who has already accomplished the goal. If a friend invites you to discuss investments, speak from the perspective of someone financed by 8 jackpots. If hesitation creeps in, imagine how the realized you would act. Without fear or second guessing, you cultivate the emotional terrain of the end state. Visualization strengthens this lived reality. Instead of seeing yourself traveling toward an unseen destination, project the completed scene. Picture a headline proclaiming your name, or a ledger displaying 8 deposits in sequence. Visualize the body sensations and emotional high of confirmation. By projecting this consummated image, you train your subconscious to accept it as the blueprint for unfolding events. Consistency anchors the living in the end approach. Choose triggers to return to this state multiple times a day. Sipping tea, sending an email, or hearing a melody. At each trigger, pause and silently affirm your completed outcome. Feel satisfaction and gratitude, even if the external world has not yet reflected the result. These returns reinforce the continuity of your end state, making it the dominant narrative in your consciousness. Be mindful of language in casual conversation. Replace references to waiting or hoping with language of fulfillment. If someone asks about your progress, respond as though it is already achieved. Words like soon or one day belong to becoming and must be replaced with now or already. This disciplined language extends your chosen state into every interaction. When challenges arise, resist reverting to striving. Instead, recall sensations of completion, revisit your affirmations, and reinforce emotional alignment. The friction between inner certainty and outer appearances strengthens your faith like steel forged in fire. Stay anchored in the end, and the outer world will align with your internal decree. Maintain a journal that records your victories as though they have already occurred. Each morning, write dated entries describing the 8 lottery wins in vibrant detail, noting the exact dates, amounts, and personal reactions. By fully documenting these imagined experiences with conviction and gratitude, you impress upon your subconscious an immutable record of success. Employ sensory anchors beyond sight and sound to solidify your end state. Choose a distinct aroma, a spritz of your favorite cologne, the scent of fresh linen, or a candle's fragrance, and associate it with a feeling of your eightfold triumph. Alternatively, select a short musical cue that encapsulates victory. At moments of affirmation, expose yourself to this sensory trigger. Over time, the aroma or melody will evoke the emotional tone of completion, restoring your inner conviction. Allow your physical posture and attire to affirm your success. Dress in clothing that reflects the confidence and authority of one who has already won abundantly. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin lifted, and walk with a deliberate gait that communicates accomplishment. Your body language speaks volumes to your subconscious. When you inhabit the physical presence of fulfilled desire, your presence echoes this certainty and accelerates manifestation. Cultivate an attitude of trust and detachment regarding the specific means of realization. Surrender the how of your 8 wins to the creative intelligence that operates beyond conscious control. This balance of firm conviction and relaxed expectation prevents resistance. As you integrate living in the end into your routine, you may notice subtle shifts. Decisions align with abundance, opportunities appear more often, and a calm confidence permeates your actions. You are not passively wishing, but actively embodying the outcome. The world reorganizes to reflect your inner state. By choosing to live perpetually in the end, you assume the identity of your completed desire. Imagine your inner landscape as a vast field of energy, vibrating at different frequencies, depending on the beliefs you hold. When your mind is attuned to the resonance of scarcity, every circumstance you encounter becomes proof that there is never enough. Never enough money, never enough opportunity, never enough joy. Yet when you shift your beliefs to the frequency of abundance, you transmute that same field into fertile ground, where limitless possibilities sprout as effortlessly as seeds in spring. Your beliefs are not idle opinions. They are the very warp and weft of the tapestry you weave, drawing experiences that mirror the vibration you broadcast. By consciously elevating your beliefs to the wavelength of plenty, you send a clarion call to the unseen forces of your own awareness, summoning to you the people, ideas, and events that reflect the bounty you now accept as your natural heritage. Start by observing the silent chatter of your mind, for here lies the raw material of your reality. Notice any recurring thought that whispers of lack. I'll never have enough. I'm not cut out for success. Opportunities always slip away. These are the seed thoughts that germinate into outward evidence of limitation. Each time you catch yourself harboring such an idea, pause and examine its truth. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Does this thought align with the reality I wish to create? In the act of questioning, you separate your awareness from the old script of insufficiency. This moment of conscious recognition is your first leverage point. It grants you the power to uproot the unwanted belief and replace it with a new conviction that resonates with abundance. Once you have identified a limiting belief, craft its opposite with precision and intention. If your mind drifts into, "I don't deserve this wealth." Counter it immediately with, "I am worthy of unlimited prosperity." Speak this replacement belief aloud with conviction, allowing the words to echo through your consciousness like a sacred decree. Write the new affirmation in bold letters on a card or in a journal, and revisit it several times throughout the day. Each repetition fans the flame of your new belief, stoking it until it blazes with undeniable certainty. Over time, the subconscious mind accepts this new directive as the most authoritative truth, aligning every thought, feeling, and action to conform to the abundant reality you have endorsed. To accelerate this transformation, curate a mental diet rich in images and ideas of plenty. Begin and end each day by immersing yourself in stories of generosity and success. Read articles celebrating breakthroughs, watch videos of people joyfully sharing their achievements, or listen to music that uplifts your spirit. Surround yourself with visual reminders, photographs of open landscapes, symbols of open-flowing vessels, or art that speaks of lavish gardens. These external stimuli serve as daily affirmations, reinforcing the inner conviction that abundance is both natural and inevitable. By deliberately choosing to feast on prosperity rather than subsist on scarcity, you reshape the neural pathways of your mind, ensuring that the first thought upon waking and the last thought before sleep drift through the same bright prism of plenty. In practice, anchor your new abundance beliefs with simple rituals that engage the senses. Each morning, hold a token that symbolizes wealth to you: a coin, a golden-hued crystal, or even a leaf with veins like liquid metal. Close your eyes and feel its weight, envisioning it as a harbinger of the riches you now claim. Inhale deeply, tasting the sweetness of opportunity on the breath, and exhale any residue of doubt. At night, replay moments of generosity you witnessed during the day, no matter how small. A stranger's kind gesture, a timely piece of advice, or an unexpected gift. Let gratitude wash over you, for in giving thanks you affirm that you are already in possession of abundance. These ritualized sensory experiences embed your new beliefs into the subconscious, where they take root and blossom into tangible manifestations. Keep a dedicated journal of abundance moments to chart your progress and reinforce your convictions. Each entry should begin with a date and a brief description of an instance when prosperity in any form touched your life, a surge of inspired creativity, a sudden connection that led to new resources, or a simple pleasure that felt like a luxury. Even if you believe you have nothing to record at first, practice noticing the small rivers of abundance flowing through your day: warm coffee, a clear sky, the steady beat of your heart. As you compile these entries, you build an irrefutable ledger of plenty that your mind can no longer deny. When old doubt attempts to surface, review your journal and let the documented evidence of your sufficiency silence any lingering objection. Finally, entrust the unfolding of your abundant reality to the intelligent forces at work behind the scenes. Having shifted your beliefs to the frequency of plenty, step back with quiet confidence and release any anxious grasp on the outcome. Trust that the vision you have firmly impressed upon your consciousness will now materialize through 1,000 unseen channels. Opportunities that once eluded you will begin to present themselves. Relationships will blossom in unexpected ways, and resources will flow to you with surprising ease. By aligning your beliefs with abundance and maintaining unwavering faith in their truth, you become both the composer and the instrument, orchestrating a symphony of prosperity that resonates through every aspect of your existence. Imagine waking each morning to a sacred appointment with your own inner vision, knowing that the moment you rise, you will renew the creative decree that shapes your destiny. By repeating your chosen phrase with deliberate ritual, from the first breath of dawn to the final exhale before sleep, You establish a rhythmic heartbeat between your conscious desire and your subconscious power. This steady cadence, like the steady beat of a drum in an ancient ceremony, imprints your intention on the deepest layers of your mind. As you bring the words to life in voice or whisper, you draw your conscious will down through every level of awareness until it resonates as an immutable decree, ready to orchestrate events in the outer world. Consistent repetition requires both structure and spontaneity. Select 3 or 4 moments in your day, perhaps upon waking, at midday, and just before sleep, when you will pause everything else to speak, feel, and believe your affirmation. In the quiet of your bedroom, stand before a mirror and declare your victory aloud, eyes locked on your own reflection, as though witnessing the truth of your words manifest in real time. At your desk, let the phrase echo silently in the theater of your mind while you visualize the triumphant conclusion you intend. In bed, repeat it as a lullaby, allowing it to be the last vibration you carry into dreams. These fixed points serve as anchor weights, ensuring the rope of your intention never loosens, no matter how tumultuous the day may become. Within this framework, honor the whispered urgings of inspiration. Should a burst of conviction arise outside your scheduled times, on a walk, in conversation, or while listening to music, seize that moment as an unsanctioned yet vital rehearsal. Speak the words with the same intensity you would during a formal session, and feel the spark of creative fire ignite anew. This blend of planned ritual and spontaneous devotion weaves your intention into the very fabric of everyday life, so that repetition becomes not a chore, but an act of joyful communion with your own creative power. Over time, the brain's neural pathways adapt to this unwavering focus. Each repetition strengthens the connections between thought, feeling, and action, until the phrase becomes embedded as an operating system rather than a mere wish. Just as a skilled musician practices scales countless times until finger movements become effortless, you program your mind to move automatically toward the outcome you desire. That effortlessness, born of persistent repetition, frees your attention from doubt and allows your subconscious to work unhindered in aligning circumstances to match your inner conviction. Notice how subtle shifts begin to appear, sudden inspirations for number combinations, fortuitous encounters, unusual hints dropped in casual remarks. These are the outer world echoes of the ritualized decree you have set in motion. Like ripples expanding from a stone cast into still water, your daily repetitions send vibrations outward, touching distant shores of reality. Cultivate gratitude for each synchronicity, knowing that every tiny confirmation is a sign the unseen machinery of manifestation is responding to the drumbeat of your persistent intent. As the days become weeks, develop a private journal to track your practice. Record the time, place, and emotional intensity of each session, noting any particular flourish of feeling or unexpected surge of belief. Over weeks and months, this journal will stand as concrete proof of your unwavering dedication, reinforcing the habit even when external results lag. Reviewing these entries remind you that repetition is not repetition alone, but a living dialogue with your imagination, a conversation that grows richer with every reiteration. When external challenges threaten to perturb your rhythm, return to the core of your ritual. Strip away embellishments and let your practice be as simple as a single breath followed by the spoken phrase. Even in moments of stress or distraction, this pared-down exercise reestablishes the link between your conscious intention and subconscious orchestration. The power lies not in the length or flourish of your ritual, but in its unbroken continuity. Through steadfast daily repetition, both scheduled and inspired, you cultivate a life in which each moment is invested with creative purpose. Your spoken words cease to be idle sounds. They become the architects of your lived experience. The secret lies not in grand gestures, but in the humble, rhythmic cadence of committed practice, forging within you a vessel so aligned that the world outside must finally mirror the inner decree you have faithfully repeated. As you carry these principles into your daily life, remember that your spoken word is the blueprint, feeling is the fuel, and imagination is the architect of your reality. By issuing clear commands to your inner being, immersing yourself in the sensory richness of your desired outcome, and revisiting that vision with unwavering conviction, you prime every facet of your consciousness to conspire in your favor. When doubt arises, greet it as a signal to reinforce your affirmation. Anchor your certainty through ritual and gratitude, and realign your beliefs to the vibration of abundance. Live each moment in the end, moving and speaking from the standpoint of fulfilled victory, and let repetition weave your intention into the very fabric of your mind. This disciplined practice of words, feelings, visualization, and belief reshapes the unseen currents that guide events, transforming abstract desire into concrete experience. As you persist, writing your triumphs into journals, anchoring your confidence with simple gestures, and trusting the unseen intelligence at work, you will observe subtle synchronicities blossom into undeniable proof. Ultimately, the world you inhabit will mirror the truth you have boldly declared. Not one lottery win, but eightfold triumphs. And beyond that, the mastery of your own creative power. Embrace these methods with faith and consistency, and watch as your inner decree unfolds into a reality more wondrous than even your most vivid imagination.